This video is a review of some of the basic practices that we've gone over in the last video. Suppose you want to calculate this set of numbers right here, finding out the average, the count, and the sum. What you do is select them, and you look at the bottom of the page, and you can see that the average is 18.25, the count is 4, and the sum is 73. I'm going to raise this up so you can see this better. Right down there, it's average of 18.25, count of 4, and sum of 73. And on this project, we would put those numbers right here. Here is a practical way we can check our work. Right here, I have a sum formula. So if I click on this cell right here, I can see that this formula is sum K5 through K500. So I'm going to select that, and you can see it's going to sum everything in this range. That's equals sum K5 to K500. And that result is 115. I can check this because I know all of my data is right in this area here. And if I look at the bottom of the page, I can see it says sum 115, count of 12, and it also has the average. So I know since the sum is 115 that my sum formula is correct. It's also kind of handy every now and then if you want to just select, I want to know what the average is of this, or I want just to know what these numbers are right there, and so on. It's just a quick way to check your work, or just get a quick sum, count, and average of whatever you select, if it's a number. Take a few moments and select a few numbers and check the results at the bottom of the page. Let's try a few more challenges. In this case, we want to sum these numbers right here. And we're going to use AutoSum to do it. So I'm going to select this area, and right up here I'm going to click on this symbol right here, and it summed that value. It's 64. It automatically sums, but if I had wanted to, I could have gotten the average there, or the minimum number, or the maximum number. Let's try another one here. This time use AutoSum and use the maximum, the highest number from the set. So I'm going to click right here, and this time I'm going to click the down arrow and choose max. And you can see the number 21 is there because 21 is the highest number in this set. Now let's go for the minimum. Actually, I'm going to select them all, try minimum, and you can see the minimum number is 7 right there. If I were to select on it, you can see how the formula works out right here. Equals minimum, and it tells you the range that it's searching through, which is column H, row 22 through column H, row 25. Let's suppose I wanted to find the average. I'm going to erase all this area in here with the delete key, and I want to find the average of these numbers. So I will select this area, come up here, click the down arrow, and choose average. Or if I wanted to, I could choose count, and the count number popped in right below it. We can see that the range, it included an age 22 through age 25. I don't want it to count this number right here, and so Excel just automatically did what it thought it should do. We're going to have to change it because I only want it to count 7, 21, 21. I don't want it to count this last number. So what I can do is right here where it's got age 25, I'm going to change that to age 24. And now I'm going to make sure the blinker is all the way to the right. So it's equals count, opening parentheses, H22 colon H24, closing parentheses. and hit enter, and we can see that it's the count of 3 instead of the count of 4. So it's always a good idea to look at what the formula actually says when you click on something, and you can change it in the formula bar. What I'd like you to do on the formulas page is to practice this. So go ahead and click just one area and try AutoSum. Click another area. This time just choose average, and you can see that the average of 4, 5, and 6 is 5. And just go ahead and select different areas and then look at the formula. And if you're not sure, click on the actual formula itself to see what it says. And so I'm going to click on it so you can see this one's equals sum L8 to L11. And let's just say I want to change it so it's not L8 to L11. I want it to be K8 to M11. You can see it just expanded that area. This is K8 and this is M11 right here. So it's got this whole area. So I'd like you to practice that, and I'd like you to practice editing things not only in the formula bar but also in the cell itself. You click on it and you can see it. I'm going to click enter, and you can see that it is 49, which encompasses this entire area. So please go ahead and sum some areas and then edit it right here. And also I'm going to want you to edit it right here also. We could change this from an M here to N, and I just made it even larger, and you can see that now it includes even more rows, and now the number is 70 because it's gotten quite a bit larger. So go ahead, practice it, and change it both in the formula bar and click on it so you can edit it individually. This next challenge has to do with time. We're going to put the start date in here, and I'm going to put it in the date when I've made this video, and I'm going to hold down the control key and semicolon, and today's date will pop in there. Or you can manually put it in. That's a very easy way to put in the current date. Just hold down the control key and then semicolon. So now we can use this in a formula. If we want to have 30 days in the future, what formula would you put in there? We could say equals. I'm going to click on this so we have the value of it. So now we have equals the value in B50 plus 30. And that comes to November 5th. So 30 days after October 6th is November the 5th. Let's try it again for 60 days. Equals. I'm going to select this. And sometimes you have to click it twice for it to actually pop in there, or else you can actually write in B50. So this is the value in B50 plus 60. Let's just say we want 2 weeks ago. How would you do that? We'll do that with equals. Let's put in the value right here, minus 14, because we want it minus 14 days. And that's our formula. 2 weeks ago. If you have the worksheet for this, I'd like you to do this, fill out this one right here. The start date plus 2 weeks and then last week's. So to get the start date, you can actually put it in there, or control semicolon will get it in there. Also, if you were to put the today formula in there, it should update every single day, whereas control semicolon does not. It will always be that date. So if I were to write, for example, below that, equals today, opening and closing parentheses, it should put in today's date, but tomorrow this would say the 7th, and the day after that it would say the 8th. This formula should update daily, but the one that I put in with control semicolon should not update. It will always be the same. So go ahead and practice on these right here. Now we will review a few quick ways to put the AutoSum value to work. I'm going to select on this one right here because not only do I want the answer here for AutoSum, I want it all the way across. There's a couple ways you can do that. I can go right here and look for the black cross, which is right around the green box in the lower right hand corner, and autofill across. As you can see, it has the right number. Or in this case, there's actually a very easy way to do this. I'm going to select this whole area and just click AutoSum, and the numbers went right in. You can look at right up here, you can see that the correct values went in. Now let's just say we want to total these numbers right here and put that total right here. One way to do it is, let's use the formula dialog box. So I'm going to click on FX right here. And since the word sum isn't right in this list, I'm going to look for it right up here. I'm just going to type in the word sum and click go. And now sum is at the top of the list. If you have questions about a formula, you can click right here, help on this function. It's very good. It's a free book and it's very useful. I'm going to click OK. And it gives me an area where I can put in a range. So I'm going to select these numbers right here. So I selected G90 through I90. That's G90, here's row 90, G90 through I90, and that's my range. If I had a separate range, I could put it here, but I don't. I only have that one range. So I'm going to click OK. And the value is 43. If I were to select all these, you can see that it's 43. So my formula is correct. Let's try another one. Now this is one people always get wrong. I want to copy the value in these cells into these. How I would do that is it's the easiest formula around. I just put in an equal sign, and then I can type in G97 because that's what this cell is, or I can just click on it, G97, and there it is. I click equals here and click on this. It goes right in. Or I could use autofill, and it goes in there, and you can see the formula right up there, G99. I would say it seems like everyone forgets this formula, the equals formula, but that's why I wanted to review it. This next one is adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. We'll start right here, equals 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. So it's 3, 6, 9, 12. 12 should be the answer. And it is the answer. Suppose we wanted to change that and we wanted to say minus 3 right here. We can just change it right there. I'm going to delete that and put in a minus sign. And now it's 6. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 is 0, so that leaves you with 6. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 3 minus 3 but let's just change it back to how it should be. We'll get rid of that minus sign, put in a plus sign, and it's back to 12. Let's make one more change to this formula. So I'm going to click on it. Let's say I want to add the value in this cell right here. I want to add the value of this to this right here. So 12 plus 20 equals 32. So let's take it right here, and I'm going to put plus, and I'm going to click on this cell right here, or I could have written it in H99, which is what that cell is, and enter. And now it comes to 32. You can see right there that it has those values in it. This next project is a totals page. And what we're going to do is create a new page. In different versions of Excel, you can do it different ways, but I'm going to click on the plus sign right here. And it gave me a generic name, Sheet 2. So I'm going to double click on it, but you can also right click and edit the name. I'm going to give it the name Totals. So I'd like you to do the same. I'd like you to create a new page, and then right click or select it and call that page Totals. And once you have that, we're going to create a totals page. I'm going to create a background here. This symbol, this triangle symbol up in the corner, will select the entire page. So I'm going to do that and give it a pale background, so like light gray. And now I'm going to create some accounts. Account A. And please do likewise. After you make the accounts, I'm going to want you to select the cell below it and give it a white background and borders, all borders. It should look like this. And once it's done, we're going to use the Format Painter and drag across. So I'm going to select it. Go to the Format Painter, and notice when you hover over an icon, it will tell you what that icon does. So I'm going to select the Format Painter. You can see I have the marching ants, and I'm going to drag over the cells that I want changed. So I'll do that one more time. Control Z out of it. Select this Format Painter and drag across. And actually, I want one more spot, which is right here. I'm going to put a totals thing here. Now we're going to use the copy formula. And you can copy in any number. This is just what I'm going to do. I'm going to select this cell, put in the equal sign, and navigate to another page. In this case, I'm going to navigate to DB. And I'm going to pick this number right here, selecting it once so that it has the marching ants on it, and then click enter. And you can see that it came right over. Make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see. The formula right here is DB, which is the page we went to, exclamation point, and then the cell address. We're going to do it again, clicking on this one, equals DB2, and I'm going to click on this number and enter. Now there's a difference between this formula and this formula. This formula has single quotes around dB2 because there's a space right here. And generally speaking, formulas don't like spaces. You can see the little space right there. And there's a space right here. So it has to treat it as a block of text, and so for that reason it has single quotes around it. This formula, there's no single quotes around dB. So if there's no space right here, you don't need the single quotes. And I'm saying this in case you manually decide to write the formula instead of doing it the fast way that I did. Let's put a sum formula over here. Let's just do it in the dialog box. Got sum. And I'm going to drag across. So we have C6 to F6. And that's the total so far. So if I were just to cover over that, 324, 324. I'm going to add a couple other numbers. Let's go back to this one right here. Take that one. And it didn't take, so we'll try it again. This equals marching ants, enter. You can see how this updated right away because it included that area. And let's take one more. Equals, and let's go to this one. And let's pick this number right here and enter. Suppose we have a number here that this is a number up here that we budgeted for. So I'm going to put a number in there as 1500. That's the amount that we budgeted for. And I'm going to use the format painter so that it looks the same as these others. And we want to compare this value to this value. So let's just say we're going to put the answer over here. I'll move this over a little bit more so you can see it better. Equals, this is what we budgeted for. And we want the difference between the expenses that we actually had. So it's this number minus that number. And that will tell us the difference. So we can see right here, 346 is the difference between this number and this number. Just by using subtraction, we can tell what the difference is. This is what was budgeted for. We came in under budget. We came in $346 under budget. And I'm going to use the format painter and turn that into a white box also. And the reason I'm going over that is because one of the problems that we have for you to do involves subtracting in order to get the difference. The last problem I'm going to have you do in this series is to make a duplicate of something like this. The white boxes are for input, and this is the result. So area equals length times width. So let's say if the length is 2 feet, the width is 6 feet, the area will be 12. Just say the length is 3, and you can see how the number over here changed. Let's just say the width is 10 feet. And you can see how that number increased over there. So what I want you to do, if you get to all the way to the bottom, which is quite a few problems, is to make a box like it. You can create the background that you want. I'm going to put a border around the outside. I'm going to create 2 white boxes. I'll select both boxes. And I will give it a white background, and I'm going to give it all borders. I'm going to type the word length up here and width. And area. And it's kind of pale here, so I'm going to select this and make sure this is dark. my formula will go here. As you can see, I have a formula here, which is this value times this value. So I'll put my formula here, equals the value in here times, I'll put an asterisk, times the value in here. Let's just say the length is 2 by 5. 2 and 5. The area is 10. Make that a little bit bigger so you can see it better. It's nice to have this scroll bar right here. You can just make things bigger or smaller. And there it is. The formula is right here. It multiplies this value times that value. I can change this to 3. And that changed to 15. So your project is to make one like that. And then we have another one, the area of a circle. This formula is a little bit more complicated. It's the value of this times the value of this times 3.14. But basically you can just copy the idea of it and you can get the area of a circle. If I were to change this to 10, area of circle is 314. So how we did that formula is I can show you right here. It's equals 3.14, which is the short version of pi, times the value in here times, again, the value in there, because that value squared. And that's the formula for it. It should give you the same answer. Put 5 in there. It should give you the same. But we don't need it to be the same, so I'm going to delete it. Go ahead and practice these, and just kind of as a brief review, you can go to this page and for example 22 is the value of this range right here. If we were to go to this one right here, we can see we have 2 ranges, which is this range and this range, and of course we can do that in the dialog box, which makes it very easy to do. I'll show you one more time how to do that. Let's put our formula right here. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to click on the formula bar. So you can see we've got sum at the top of the list, the sum formula. Click OK. Excel guessed that this is the range I want, D8 to D15. That's not the range I want. I'm going to select these cells right here, and then I could hold down the control key and select this right here and have the 2 ranges all on one, but I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to select the second range right here, second set of numbers, and select this here. 2 ways to do the exact same thing. So I've got C8 to C11, E8 to E11. It includes both these gray areas, and I'll click OK. And you can see the number right there. Here is the formula, and here is the value. Now the reason this formula, you can see it and not just see the result of it, is because it has a single quote in front of it right there. So it has that single quote, and that turns it into a text. If I were to get rid of the single quote, it would be an active formula. Hit the delete key and now it's an actual formula. But if I want to turn it into text, it's actually pretty handy every now and then if I want to copy a formula. And you can just see what it is right there. Okay, well, good luck on all your projects, and this should give you a very good start on formulas. Thank you.